herzlich willkommen zurück zu Shadowrun Hong Kong. Ich hoffe mal, wir machen diese Folge endlich mal ein bisschen Fortschritt und werden nicht einfach wieder totgequatscht. Raus hier. Cater. Wer ist denn das? Ach, ist mir jetzt auch egal. Hat bestimmt auch keine wertvollen Infos. Da, Portalem. What can you tell me about Elder Magpie? The Wampoan snorts, shrugging his shoulders. That she was a bitch? That I've never met anyone as the ability contrary as her? There's not much to say. Nobody wanted to hang out with Magpie. Even though she was the newest there, she acted high and mighty around everyone. She blocked deals and argued with Nakamura and Nick, just because she could. Why she was the contrary? It was just her nature. She loved fights and gossip. Any chance to cut somebody else down, she'd take it. I guess I always figured that she had some deep-seated insecurity and covered it up by attacking other people. Do you have a key to the storm drainage system? Sure, why do you ask? Drop a gun down a grate or something? Following up the lid of the killer. In that case, take the damn key. You'll have to forgive me if I don't want to go down there with you. Porter peels an antique Yale-style key off of a keyring and handed it down. Knock yourself out, man. There's an entrance up by the Yate Mountain restaurant. Can't miss it. See you later, alligator. So, okay, dann muss ich nochmal mit den Elders reden. Mit den Eldari. Da Nick. Is there anything that can I do for you? Why didn't you tell me about the magpie disappearing? Why would we have a depth shop from the 1 point isn't related for your investigation? It happened before the killings began, I'm certain. Just off circling somewhere. Nick's tone is profoundly indifferent. No doubt she'll come waltzing back next month, all full of attitude, the life there to go on without asking her permission. If she does, we'll welcome her back, despite our problems with her behavior. Her skills make her extremely valuable. I'll take over maintenance of our matrix and infrastructure in her absence, but I'm nowhere near her level. The best I can do is ensure nothing breaks down with his returns. I'd like to take a look around her shop. Do you have a key? Yes, but there's a lot of sensitive equipment in there, including community server. We don't let anyone know who is not one of the elders. Why would you need to look at? I guess I don't really need to. Why did you let HP have? Tank takes taking it back very quick. For a long moment he says nothing. When his composer does return, he speaks deliberately and with great care. We generally don't let the police into Wampoa Garden. It's true, but in this case we made an exception. The police was very polite and offered to look the other way over some deals with the Lohojoba pirates. They also made it clear that if we refuse, they might not only take an interest in our deals with the pirates, they would call the Special Duties Unit and enforce the way in. We have replied on police first before, when they tried to push us around. We could probably drive off the Special Duties units as well, but its cost in blood would be too high. Next to us nonchalantly. Since we are hunting in Wampoa, we shall know Since they weren't hunting a weapon, we saw no reason to refuse the crate. Who were they here for? They didn't say, and we didn't ask. The HPF isn't exactly forthcoming about her business, and we found that the less we know about their interest, the safer one poor garden is. When you take interest in the police, they return the favor. As far as I know, they went into the parking garage, there was a gunfire and the police never came out. More showed up a few hours later looking for the missing officers. We didn't let this in, do we just delivered that was left of the boys to them. Why didn't you let them in? We are willing to allow the group of 4 in, because they were asked politely. When the reinforcements arrived, there were over 30 of them. Couldn't with the rest of the police setting up camp out to the streets. It would have been a circus and disrupting our life business. I'll be going now. Na, fuck it. Wen haben wir denn da? Winkeig weg. Rheinbau. Ach, leck. Ach, lecko. Da ist Storm Drains. Runter da. Was haben wir hier? Body parts. Disgusting pile of stinking human remains. Smells strongly of blood and the first stages of decay. The arms, legs and organs here are heaped together like stacked firewood, leaking blood and gore across the floor. The part contained her and a pair to have been sliced away from the parent body, rather than torn or bitten. Judging by the clean edges of the cuts, the blade used to sever the parts were extreme sharp. This is a whole world of mess up. This will take a moment to suppress a rage. You think the killer stashes this here? They are stacked, they're being organized? This is our killer, alright. Looking closer at the pile, one part stands out. It's a severed forearm and it's covered in tattoos, words in Slavic language. And the shining tattoos adorn the forearm. And wing-like images are inked on each wing. On the back of the hand, there are skull inside the square. These arm belong to a war. These are criminal tattoos. The lighter shows he tried to escape from prison. Or plan to. The word says all police are dog. The skull inside the square means he served a prison for robbery on. What's a war? A war is a thief. The war the organization, thieves in law. They have strict codes and police don't. But they don't sever arms und leave them a pile of gore. Okay, das ist schon mal eine Info. Storm Drain. Despite the darkness, you see the glitter at the edge of the drain. Looking closer appears to be a necklace chain of some kind. It's become caught on the drain gate, narrowly avoiding falling down the deep pit. Take the necklace. Lifting the necklace out the drain, you turn it over in your hand. Simple silver pendant on that chain. The silver pendant displays a long-tailed bird in flight. A magpie. Oh, ha. As you round the corner, you hear voices speaking slowly enough for you to make out coherent sentences. The speakers are definitely not local. They speak with a slight Slavic accent and the clothing is heavily armored. Around a number of crates and boxes are mostly filled. So exactly a group is packing up. Yaroslav says the boat will be ready tomorrow morning. We got everything arranged with the port authority. We moved the goods to his warehouse. He'll handle loading onto the ship and we can get paid right in there. Dog spit on the ground. I'm glad to be alone with this filthy place. I will too. I hate having to hide in the damn drains. stinks down here. I can hear the devil rats running down the walkways. It's a mess and it's disgraceful. We shouldn't have to put with the bullshit. And Alexandre isn't still back from his little trip. Have to leave him behind if he doesn't get back soon. I know, Galina. Until Andre says we are in the clear from the tyrants, we can't be seen with the goods on the street. They found us. We go back to Vladivostok and sausage cousins. Those red dragons in Mudak don't screw around when it comes to protecting the turf. Who knows, maybe Alexander was stupid enough to count him. Ray will have to look this club around the drains of you kicked. The orc woman sniffs stairs suspiciously around her eyes stare towards the doctor and you stand. With you have the sense to get out of sight. She looks out with you. Doc lifts her chin as he regards quickly. What if we hear? Are you curious little pests come looking for things that don't concern him? What do we do with pests, Galina? We break them, Vasila, and then we hammer a spike to each of the throats so anyone who sees the body knows not to meddle in. I'm not here to meddle in anything. I'm just looking for a serial killer. Well, you have found some, Francis. You think you can well just walk out of here after finning us? Think again. Try that. I'll feed your face to your friend over there. You think I'm scared of you? If you aren't, you are an even bigger idiot than you seem. Stand down or face the consequence. Shit! Galina lowers the shotgun to her position and swim. You don't care about what we are doing. I have a job to do this soon. So what do you want from us? Where was your friend headed when he disappeared? He found a keycard for a stockroom. Look at behind Mrs. Young's yacht mountain restaurant. We went to check it out. We thought there might be something valuable in there. And a little extra money for our time spent down here in the drains. Do you have another key to the stockroom? Yes, there are several of them in the boxes. We just popped the weather. Here we don't have the time for this. We have to move the gear. You want to play the detective? Go right ahead. So, dann hoch da. Also gut, Magpie. Rein da. Food. Despite the table crude construction and artful late meal awaits, the owner several small dishes are filled with pickled vegetables, while a larger plate is arranged with long slices of raw meat. The meat is a pale pinkish white like raw pork and is covered in a light soy marinade. Poking at the raw meat, you will discover that it's surprisingly tender. What's more, it's the faint aroma of marinade and it's the leave the meat alone. Mementos. The box is pocket full of odds and ends. It's neatly overflowing with a collection of knickknacks, souvenirs, and assorted personal effects. There is no rhyme or reason or the collection of it. Among the contents are charms from various temples and wooden masks in the paper fan. Examine the mask. The wooden mask is extremely light, it's been painted a pale white. The surface has almost been smooth as porcelain. The light features are lifted eyebrows are matched with the bright red lips and declared calf teeth. The teeth have been stained a deep black. Examine this charm. The small charms are squared cloth packets, each a portion inch wide and 3 inches tall. They come in a variety of bright colors and are embroidered with characters of prosperity, peace, wealth, and protection. Inside each appears to be folded paper prayer for fortune, written in Japanese. Examine the paper fan. Unfolding the fan, you tilt up toward the light to examine it. The image depicts an East Asian city from the 19th century or earlier. Curved roofs at sunsets behind a deep blue river. Two ships sail down the river, which is turned spanned by a long wooden bridge. In the foreground, laborers carry buckets along the shores. A man on a horseback rides the opposite direction. In the distance, a pair of large red buildings dominate the city's skyline. One large temple and a 5-tile pagoda, if the box alone. As you step from a box, you hear a slight click in the distance, the sound of a door latch shut. You are no longer alone in this dark room. Standing before you, a man clad in heavy armor and bearing a katana on his hip. His skin is an ashen gray, his eyes dead white, his teeth are jagged, his hair quite sharp. This is no man, this is a ghoul. The ghoul blind eyes search back and forth. As his regards, it can be seen you have a sense that it knows exactly where you are. I had gone up that to bear against me by the Wampo and elders. I mean, by which they can lift the cursed plague in them. I salute your tenacity, but I wonder will you hear me out before raising your weapon to cool? You are talking? You are good and you are talking. Yes, I'm not only talking, I'm reasoning as well. Since you have not attempted to kill me, your higher faculties are engaged. I'm curious to the ghoul bears his breath rasping over the Asian hills. You wish to know not only what I am, but why I have what I have done. You call me Gaiju. I know who you are. You are the one that killed the Ramporan elders? You are correct. I have killed all of the Ramporan elders. Today, the only Elder Magpie was according to my initial plan. I regret the deaths of the other elders, but it was necessary. Explain yourself. The affair began simply enough. As you may surmise, I'm not someone who can be seen in public without great risk. Wampoa Garden is an excellent place to hide. No police or tribe presence, and minimal interest in things that lurk in the shadows. Unfortunately for me, Elder Nick discovered me through communion with his spirit, waited and killed or chased me away as you came to me with a poor persuasion. Nick and the other elders are having problems with one of their own number, an elder named Magpie, and been holding many of the plants hostage. World not budge. They could not remove Magpie, however, because the service was too useful to the Vampire Netchlars. Nick offered me payment to dispose of Magpie, and I have accepted. I heard of Magpie, but the shop is still locked up. Naturally, they will keep the servers under lock and key to avoid any aqueous question about the whereabouts. I was true in disposing it as our contract stipulated. She was to simply disappear without a trace, a task that was easy enough to accomplish. I disposed of Magpie's body by emptying the blood in a bathroom, then I cut her up into more portable pieces. These were placed in a plastic tub which I took to the storm drains at night. Gaijin nonchalantly waves her hand to stone flat on her. It's unfortunate to my survival depends upon consuming raw meat or human flesh. Letting such knowledge go to waste would be foolish, Harry. But why you killed all the elders then? I contacted the elders in person, of course, and arranged to excellent payment. I assumed that since the job was done, Nick would be a woman of her word. Bartering is the guy chooses the word next. I was mistaken. Arrived at the nearby parking garage that I told me about. They cleared out the other one points under some pretense. Talked, I'm not sure what I used to use. The elders never showed up. Instead, several members of Hong Kong police force arrived. They were more heavily armed than usual, so I suspected you knew something about my nature. I heard about the fact you accepted me to believe you took a police squad and won. Of course, I have survived as a ghoul for some years now. On the streets of Hong Kong, isn't there civilians enough of my tenacity? I doubt any words I could say will change your mind. A betrayal of this sort cannot stand. Not only was I not paid for my time and effort, they were poor and treated me like a common animal, and I'm so much more than that. Reputation is everything. I had none. I had hoped to build a network of contacts so that I could be able to continue finding out, but with that treachery my hopes were dashed. Still to become the monster that they feared. One by one I have eliminated them. They know how to contact me and could ever end their nightmare at any time by making amounts. I would ask for more money, but I would have chased my hand. Yet they did not. Instead, they contacted you. No doubt asking you to eliminate me where the police had failed. So, I ask you, what now? What will you do? Will you ask to finish what the vampire started? Or will you treat me with I made my decision. Come and work with me. I can help your face. A curious I found, but soft will you allow me this? Of course, as you say, reputation is everything. Geistig Schmelz, sag like tief glätting du. Ja, und excellent, das war so lösen, than I could have hoped for. Let us wait until a bit later in the night. Most pedestrians will be off the street and it will be easier to approach the wormhole without. Sounds like a good plan. Also gut. Rein da und Fahrt. Na, ihr Ficker? Hast your fresh elders? Nix, Eiswein. Her mouth falls up. What are you doing? You brought us this thing in our home. Quick, before it kills us. Butler left hefts his pistol warily, but does not aim at it anyone. Yeah, I have to say this isn't a good idea. Why the hell is a ghoul in here? And why are you wearing armor? Calm yourself, I am not an it, and your elders know this immediately. Gachu bears his tear and Rachel's grin as he turns away. Good evening, Elder Nick. I can smell your fear and I'm glad of this. This means you are learning the praise of betrayal. Can someone explain why the elders have been lying to the rest of the Vampirans? The world never lied to the Vampirans. Our role is to protect the community, not lie to it. What proof have you back? I'm interested of hear what the kind of evidence as for the monster killed Tong and the others. The elders had guide you to kill Elder Magpie and make it look like she disappeared. You believe this vermin, this creature, it feasts on meta-human flesh that kills and dismembers our tribes, and you are near and foolish. In this case, speaks on everyone. But who if the Magpie is dead? In matters where an elder is accused of break our law, The other squingy judged them in matters where all of them being accused, but to instruct as a judge, make your case. I found magpie's necklace in the storm drains. And that takes a moment to deep nuts. This is definitely elder magpies. If you found it in the storm drain, that's suspicious, but hardly proof on its own. Of course, it's no proof. They know of things that lost in the down drains and Hong Kong must number. She hasn't been seen in a month, not by anyone. She wouldn't just disappear like that. That may be but hardly impossible. You, if it has established that Elwood were involved, you have done is make a suspicion. What proof do you have that we hired and portrayed the creature? I once sat by and listened to the ill accusation without any kind of concrete evidence. What about a fight with the Hong Kong police force? What do you mean? That does they have to do with the elders and the ghoul? You and parents don't allow police inside, aren't? They make an exception this time. The police were polite and asked our permission to enter. They were hunting a non-vampire, that was the reason. The consequence. It doesn't add up, Nick. Why would the police ask you for entry? They never have been polite before and they always try to force the way in here. Just doesn't run to me. Did you ask him to come, or do I hunt down the school? Pre-Pastor Porter, you know what your community is like. We wouldn't lie over something like this. The school has been lying and trying to cover its tracks. These still brutal murders every day. Tongue wasn't torch. There was no astral residue of pain or fear. She didn't feel the blow. That contract that struck a single blow with this black was to me. His death was instant, regrettable that he had to die for you following Nick, but necessary to protect my reputation. Nicholas had guided you in Stony saying before it. Cannot believe that these people say this, they are not be trusted. Even if it's true, they say, maybe so, Nick, but a monster will not take Tong's suffering into account. He may be a but he is not heartless. Tong's body was a mess too, but he died quickly from a sword blow to the neck. I struck Tong down with a single blow from my sword. The mess was made of the body was to send the elders a message, but I had no desire to make Tong suffer. Anytime Nick and the other elders could have made amends and the killing would have ended. Instead, they had Shadowrun to kill me. It's about cruelty. It's about sending a message. That's not what I would accept looking at the body. You killed him before you dismembered him? That's right. And I killed the other elders in similar fashion. There was no cause to prolong the suffering. The message was for the living elders, not the dead. If the elders wish to treat me like a monster, I will terrorize them, like until they pay reputation for the mister. Come on, you can't possibly believe the crazy story. It's absolutely insane. The scene of Tong's mother, like the others, was deliberately sham. It was made to look more horrifying than it was. I believe you. The blood smeared on the wall, the removal of skin, the scene designed to evoke horror, not the scene of an actual fight. What do you have to say in response? This is a farce. We have to spread ourselves to protect the Rhine Vampire trap, and everyone who lives in Vampire really believe also this monster over our world. We only have tried to end the killing. Been that Porter, you and the Shadowrun. I can't go, Porter, you know me. You know the kind of person I am. I wouldn't party to killing another elder. Can't believe we entertained the notion that to defend us we start disposing of this currency. If you think I forgot it, you are sorely mistaken. I will not tolerate this kind of. The elders were too happy to have the red spears to move into the garage. I most likely wanted to keep anyone curious about the fight away. That's right, Deep. You even told me to go find out what happened after the fight. Said that the red spear gang were moving in to leave them alone. Why would you tell me not to look into it? I was only to protect you from red spears. The danger with Schwitz is why I wanted to deal with them. That's all I've got. Right, I think I have some idea what's going on here. And what do you believe the real story is? The waters are muddy on this. The ghouls seem to be telling some of the truth and they were expected, but the facts remain. It's a dangerous creature who killed me, but our last king on this. He must die. You seem to be blameless on this. What do you say to this decision? I'm not letting you kill Gaichu. Then you must die. Leap. The one prince. Dum dum dum. Boom. Hä? Die Alter sind ziemlich tanky. Nice. Das war ein ordentlicher Crit. Und down. Reload. Nice damage. Der ist auch da. Gotcha. Dann noch Lamp. Angriff. Fuck it. Ballaballapeng. Das ist Isabel drauf da. Gatschel, wie viele stehen da noch? Fuck, nicht gereicht. Autsch. So, okay. Down. Down. All the elders are satisfied to the full. You stop and stubble the carnage. How won't you? It's accomplished. No more betrayers alive. No more worry that others may think they can take advantage of me. Lead the way. I look forward to our new business partner. Okay, dann verlassen wir es. Ronan. Na gut. Dann würde ich mal sagen, beende ich die Folge und gucken uns mal nächste Folge an, was wir so zu erwarten haben davon. Ich glaube, das gibt Ärger. Tschüss.